Ostrich has become the most popular exotic leather for cowboy boots, and for good reason. It looks good, it's durable, and it feels great. So in this video, I want to rank the ostrich boots that I have in my collection right now. 8 of them, can barely hold on to them all, and we're gonna be ranking them from worst to first. Let's get into it.
I'm just here to connect ya, and then I'll be on my way.
Hey everybody, my name is Jeremiah Craig. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, please subscribe and always like and comment down below. I get lots of questions about ostrich leather and ostrich for cowboy boots. Now, technically there are 3 different kinds of ostrich leather. There's full quill, there's smooth, and ostrich leg. I only have full quill and smooth ostrich here that we'll be looking at today. I don't have any ostrich leg in my collection right now. That could change in the future. This is just ranking my ostrich boots that I have right now from worst to first, using a similar method that I've used in all other ranking videos. And that includes modern to traditionally made scale, which ranks it from more modern to more traditionally made. 5 points for traditionally made because it's objectively better. What's the value like? Are they trying to boost margins there and make a little bit extra money than what it's worth? That gets a score as well out of 5. Sizes. How many width sizes do they have? Is it 5? Is it 1? Is it 2? The more the better. So 5 points there. Design. How's it look? How's it feel? Is it cool? 5 points. And spiritual experience is a subjective score about how I feel when I wear the boots. Total points out of 25. Let's kick it off with the worst boot in this list. Some of you might be surprised. It's the Chisos King Roper. This is a full quill ostrich boot on the foot and the counter, and it also has a smooth ostrich top, and you can tell because of all those wrinkles. So the smooth ostrich is more the belly of the ostrich. The full quill is more the back where you get all of those feathers, and that's what causes the quills. So this boot is pretty traditionally made now. Earlier this year, we found out that they were being dishonest about what they were using in the heel counter. They said they were using just leather heel counters. We found that there was a piece of celastic and a half leather piece of heel counter in here. Now, they've made a change after we found that and are using 2 half pieces, but still calling it a double leather heel counter. Kind of silly, if you ask me, and also pretty dishonest. So now these boots have a traditional made score of 5, but they are extremely overpriced. So the value score is really low here. In fact, the lowest of all the boots in this list. They're selling this boot for around $1,300, which is ridiculous for a Mexican-made boot. You can get a similar boot from Blackjack that's all ostrich, full quill ostrich foot, and a smooth ostrich top for cheaper than this Chisos. And there's no reason why a Blackjack made in the USA exotic boot should be cheaper than a made in Mexico exotic boot, because they're saving all of their costs on labor. So this is a crazy margin boosting boot here. It has no right being the price that it is. On top of that, the size score is also kind of low. On a good day, they have 2. Most of the time, it's just a D width. So that kind of makes it a little bit tough for folks to find the right size. Design, it's a good looking boot, right? I really like the look of this boot. I like the smooth ostrich top. It's just a classic looking roper boot. So they got a 4 for that. Spiritual experience. They don't make my size. And also the ostrich leather is pretty thick and takes a little bit more time to break in than a lot of other ostrich boots on the market. So it didn't really feel that good to me to wear. So that's why this boot comes in at the bottom of the list with 15 points. But I guess the first 4 boots in this list, half the boots, all come in at 15 points. So take that and do with it what you will. Coming in at number 7 is the Ariat Futurity Relentless Buckles Full Quill Ostrich Boot in gray. I've ranked this boot twice already this year because I did a cutter toe and I also just got this boot in this past year. So it's made 2 ranking videos already. I feel like I talk about this one a lot this year. I really like the look of it. As far as the modern traditionally made score, it kind of lands right in the middle. There's lots of modern aspects about this boot, like it has a removable foam insole and a foam footbed under that. Not very traditional. You got a Celastic heel counter down here, but it does have a stack leather heel and a Goodyear welt and stuff like that. So it kind of lands right in the middle with a score of 3. Value, I think it's got an average value. These boots come in at like $600 when they're not on sale, which is pretty much the market average for a Mexican-made ostrich boot. I'm not sure that's the best price. They could definitely do better because this goes on sale a lot, and the affiliate commissions on a boot like this and the Chisos and the Durango that's coming up next, they all vary between 15 and 20% for content creators to sell these boots. So that's a lot of extra margin that they're sharing with the content creators, which is great. Like, I love it when folks buy Ariats and Durangos and Chisos, but that doesn't mean that they should rank high. You know what I mean? So there's definitely room to make this a better value. Size-wise, they got B widths, which I like. So they got B, D, and double E. 3 size widths gives them a score of 3. Design, love the gray ostrich leather. I think it's really, really cool, especially when paired with this blue top. It's a very unique look, which I definitely appreciate. But at the same time, they could have done more on this natural sole. They definitely saved money just keeping this sole natural. Spiritual experience is pretty low at a 2. It doesn't fit spectacular, and I am never really a big fan of removable foam insoles. I prefer a traditionally made, traditional hard leather insole. So this comes in with a score of 15. Coming in at number 6 is the Durango PRCA Collection Full Quill Ostrich Boot. Love the cutter toe, love the shape on this one. It's pretty much exactly the same as the Ariat, except just a little bit different score-wise. I guess the design is where this one differs, and also the spiritual experience. But modern, traditionally made slightly different than the Ariat, but pretty much the same score of a 3. So you have a Celastic heel counter back here, a modern insole. There's some foam in here. Unlike the Ariat, though, it's not removable. There's also a fiberglass shank in here. So there's several modern-made aspects to this boot that give it a score of 3. Value, 3. Again, same as the Ariat. This is coming in at the average $600. Again, they have plenty of space there to have high affiliate commissions. So there is opportunity to make this a better value. And for size-wise, same thing as the Ariats. They got 3 sizes. They got a narrow, a average, and a wide width. Design-wise, it's pretty normal. You know, it's pretty okay. It's like whatever. I like the cutter toe, but there's nothing super special about this boot and how it looks. So I had to give it a 3. And spiritual experience, I gave it a 3, which is a point higher than the Ariats, just because it feels more like a traditionally made boot because it doesn't have that foam removable insert in there. And I feel a little bit closer to the ground. It feels like I have more control when I wear these boots. So I had to give it a little bit higher of a score there because generally I just feel better in these boots than the Ariats. So Durango PRCA Collection Full Quill Ostrich Boot coming in at number 6, also with 15 points. Coming in at number 5 is this Boulet 1505 boot. This is a fun ostrich boot. I got this one several years ago, and my Aunt Kay actually got this one for me. This is what they call pieced ostrich. So as you can see, you have a full quill ostrich wingtip here, right? Wingtip on the toe, that's full quill. But then everywhere else, you got just smooth ostrich, maybe semi-quill on the vamp here, smooth ostrich on the side, smooth ostrich on the back, and it's called pieced ostrich because they made this boot out of the extra pieces that they have when they cut out the ostrich for like full quill purposes, right? So they're using the extra pieces and making a cool design in order to piece together a vamp and counter. So it's a really nice way to use up that extra leather and kind of make a fun design here. I got these, and then my brother wanted a pair too, but Boulet doesn't make a lot of sizes anymore, so I ended up having BNV Boots make him a pair that looks just like this, and now we can match. And we'll talk about BNV Boots a little bit later. So this Boulet is made in Canada, so the modern traditionally made score of this is 3 now. So very similar to the Durango and how that's made. It has a non-removable foam insole in here. It's not a leather heel counter anymore. So there are aspects to this that save money now. Boulet has definitely been cutting some costs in recent years, and they've even put out an entire cheaper line that was called the Challenger for a little bit that cut even more costs. So they are not producing the kind of boots like they used to. I have a traditionally made Cayman Boulet that I absolutely love. It doesn't feel like this though. So modern traditionally made score of 3. Value, I think it's a 3. I think a made in Canada boot is a good price for what it is. The only problem is that they don't have very many sizes anymore. So I believe they have a average width and a wide width. So their average width is an E. So this is a 10.5 E width, which equals a D width in America. So they have a normal and a wide width now. Unfortunately, they are also decreasing that size range as well. I remember my brother had a B width, so it's not like you couldn't used to get more widths from Boulet. Design, this has a design score of 4 just because I love the creativity and the look of pieced ostrich. It looks really cool, and I think this is a great way to utilize some of the leather that's left over. Spiritual experience for me, 3. I spent most of my early cowboy boot wearing days wearing a Boulet that wasn't my size. And I got this one before I knew that I was a different size than this. I just figured that, you gotta break in the cowboy boot. The boot is supposed to hurt when you first put it on. That's not the way that it has to be. So this has a spiritual experience score of 3 because it's not my true size and I'm missing a little bit of arch support as well. So another one coming in at 15. So that's the end of all of the boots that are tied at 15. So from here on out, we got some separation. And we'll start with coming in at number 4. This is Cowtown Full Quill Ostrich Boot. These are made in the USA, and it's a pretty cool boot. I love the snip toe here. So as far as modern to traditionally made, again, a score of 3. A lot of these are incorporating more modern made cost savings methods, especially in the insole here on this Cowtown. It's got a non-removable foam insole, which, is okay. It's not my favorite, but it's not a removable foam one that's really thick or anything. So there's aspects to this that are more modern made. Value, I'm giving this a 4. Cowtown boots are made in the USA, and a lot of them are cheaper than the boots that are coming out of Mexico. This is around $450 or $500, and I I don't know how they're doing it. They're making it in El Paso, and obviously they're cutting corners, and there's definitely margins there. But at the same time, you can get a U.S.-made boot for cheaper than a lot of these Mexican-made boots that are made worse than what a Cowtown is. So I have noticed some inconsistencies with quality control. Sometimes you might get one that looks a little funky. So just keep that in mind. But overall, the value that you get for a U.S.-made cowboy boot compared to the Mexican-made stuff is really good. So I had to give it a 4 there. Size, they got 5 width sizes. They got B, D, single E, double E, and triple E for this one. So I had to give them 5 points for that. Design-wise, I like the design of it. I like the snip toe. It's just a great leather as well. Like, this is how Ostrich should feel. A lot of these other Ostrich boots, they kind of feel a little bit thick, but it's durable, it's supple. It's a great feeling boot, and that's why it also has a score of, well, I guess it has a score of 3 for spiritual experience because it does have that foam insole, and it's just whatever. Like, it's okay. And I like wearing this boot. It looks really good, but I never get extremely excited. I don't like lose my mind when I put this boot on and, thank the maker. Spiritual experience, right? So I gave it a score of 3, which gives it a total of 19. And that's number 4 is the Cowtown Full Quill Ostrich boot made in the USA. Coming in at number 3 is the Fenoglio Black Cherry Full Quill Ostrich boot. And this one is another made in the USA boot. And modern traditionally made score, again, they have a foam non-removable insole in here. And I believe they have some kind of filler that's not just leather on the inside. So they do have a leather heel counter though, but still I think that's enough to kind of bring that score down to 3, maybe 3.5 if you guys were really arguing that. But still, either way, it's not completely traditionally made. Value, I gave it a score of 4. I think what you get from Fenoglio is really good. They have a lot of the old Nakona lasts, which is the shape of the foot that you build the boot around, the foot mold, a lot of people call it, which gives them several different sizes that they can make. So they got pretty much everything from A to double E, if not more. So size score of 5. Design score 4. I like the black cherry, but I don't like the double stitch welt. I think this boot would look so much better if it only had the single stitch. It is a little bit wider of a cutter toe or a square toe. Usually the wide square toes are more like a French toe and they slope down. This one kind of comes up here. So it's not like a lot of the wide square toes out there. And another reason why I think it would look a million times better if it had a single stitched welt, which I plan on doing once I get these boots resold. Having a boot resold and then putting on a double stitch welt again it just costs more money because the cobbler's got to do more work. So once these get resold, I'm gonna have them just do a single stitch on this and then sort of sand down the edge. Spiritual experience score, it's a 4. I like it better than the Cowtown, but still, it's not that traditional hard leather insole that I really love. So it comes in with a score of 20, and that gives it the spot at 3. Coming in at number 2 is the Hondo 7670. This is a vintage Hondo that I just got recently in a trade, and it is traditionally made. It is during the time of the golden age of cowboy boots. So this was around like 70s or 80s here. And the ostrich leather, so supple. The quills aren't quite as, defined as a lot of these newer ostrich boots are. Maybe that's just because it's old and it sort of got run down a little bit, but this is traditionally made through and through. So Hondo Boots hasn't changed how they make a boot since they started. Traditionally made since 1965. So this has a score of 5 out of 5 points because leather lined, traditional, hard leather insole. You got a leather heel counter back here, steel shank, Goodyear welt. That welt is channeled into the insole. Everything that makes a traditional made boot, this has got it because it was made during a time when that was the only way to make boots, really. Value, I got this in a trade, but it's also a second-hand boot. So you guys have heard me say, I don't know how many times, maybe this is your first video, but I preach that second-hand boots are the best boots for the money. There are so many different kinds of boots out there that have so much more life in them because somebody bought them and then they stuck them in their closet and then they go up to Goodwill or whatever. So keep an eye out for really slightly used cowboy boots, and there's plenty of them. So the value here was 5 for me, but also in general, if you were to get a new Hondo, those are 5 as well, just because the traditionally made, it's the best traditionally made cowboy boot that you can get in the price range, which is around like $300 now. I'm not sure what they're selling ostrich boots for. I haven't seen very many ostrich boots out there. But if you want to see Hondo ostrich boots, tell your retailer because Hondo works directly with retailers. Size-wise, they're making all the sizes, all right? And they were back in the 70s and 80s as well. Design, a black ostrich boot. I can get excited about this. Dress up anytime. Let's go. And spiritual experience is a 5. It feels so cool. It feels like I'm stepping back in time in this boot, and I'm ready for anything when I rock these black ostrich boots. So total score of 25, which is a perfect score, and it's enough for number 2 with these Hondo 7670s. And coming in at number 1 is the BNV Navy Ostrich Boot. That is Botas Nueva Vizcaya. They are based in El Paso as well, next door neighbors to Cowtown, and they make whatever you want. So you can special order whatever you want from BNV Boots, and man, they make a traditionally made boot. That's all they do there. So this is traditionally made. You got the leather heel counter. You got that channel well into the insole and steel shank. Traditional hard leather insole in here and a leather lining as well. So 5 points there. Value, you can get whatever you want. And oftentimes it's not at the markup price that you would get if they were to work with a store. So BNV does supply boots to stores as well. But if you're skipping that, you don't have to deal with the markup. So, or as much of the markup. Of course, Jose Chavez and BNV Boots has to make a living, but it's not going to be crazy like what you would see a markup with a store. So if you go directly to Botas Nueva Vizcaya, odds are on your special order boot where you get to pick the specs, it's going to be a pretty good deal. Size-wise, they can do any size you want. They got a bunch of old Justin lasts or the foot mold from when Justin was, you know, a good cowboy boot brand that wasn't owned by Berkshire Hathaway. And they got a lot of those old lasts that, you know, went from, I don't know, quadruple A to quadruple E. So if you have need for a special width sizes, odds are they can do it. Design, just look at this. I mean, design-wise, you can only critique yourself, but navy full quill ostrich on a J-toe with a beautiful brown top and smooth ostrich inlay. It's the best looking ostrich boot that I got. 5 points. Spiritual experience, traditionally made with my actual size. So these feel incredible to wear, and that's why they got a perfect score of 25, and why they got a perfect score of 25 when I ranked them back in 2023. I believe, and if you want to see that, I'll put the video at the end screen. So there it is. I've ranked the 8 cowboy boots that I have in my collection. I'll just pick up 4 of them right now. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching today. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet and made it this far in the video. I really appreciate your views, and have a spectacular day. Peace.
Ostrich is a special boot, be it full quill, Lego smooth. Find the right one for you, wear it often, wear it true.
Thanks so much for watching today. Why don't you check out this other ranking video up here? Or I got a music video down here I think you might enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe up here, and I will see you next time. Peace. Have a good one.